The abandoned house at the edge of the village had always been a forbidden place. Its broken windows looked like hollow eyes, its roof sagged like the jaw of a corpse, and its basement was said to be alive. The villagers whispered of a carpenter who once lived there, a madman who built a machine from hell itself, a monstrous saw. They said he lured people inside, cut them apart piece by piece, and stored their bones in iron barrels beneath the floor. When he vanished, the screams never did. On a freezing, moonless night, 3 friends, Adam, Layla, and Samir, stood before the rotting door. With a shaky camera in hand, Adam whispered, 9 minutes, guys. That's all. We record, we prove it's a joke, and we're out. The other 2 nodded, though their eyes betrayed their fear. The door groaned open on its own. Cold air rushed out like a sigh from a buried grave. Inside, the stench was unbearable, rotting wood, mildew, and something sharper, metallic, like old blood. The floor creaked beneath their shoes, the wallpaper peeled in strips, revealing scratches, claw marks gouged deep, as if someone had tried to escape from the inside. Samir laughed nervously. See? Just stories. But his voice faltered as the first sound rose from below. Zzzzzzz. Zzzzzzz. A metallic grinding, slow but steady, echoing through the floorboards. They froze. Layla whispered, that's a saw. The noise grew louder, joined by faint, muffled cries, like dozens of voices whispering all at once. The 3 descended the stairs, each step heavier than the last. Their flashlight beams shook as they cut through the thick air. At the bottom, the basement stretched like a cavern. In the center hung the saw, massive, rusted, dripping with a red-brown ooze. It spun slowly, without wires, without power, its teeth glinting in the dark. Then the shadows moved. On the walls appeared silhouettes, men, women, children, writhing, screaming, being torn apart by invisible blades. Their voices filled the air, overlapping in a chorus of pain. The walls themselves bled, streaks of crimson trickling down to the floor. Layla screamed, clutching Adam's arm. Samir tried to run back up the stairs, but the door slammed shut above with a thunderous bang. They were trapped. The saw shrieked to life. Zzzzzzzzzzzzzzz. It lunged forward with impossible force. The blade slashed across Samir's shoulder, tearing muscle open. Blood sprayed across the stones as he collapsed, shrieking. He scrambled to his feet, but the saw came again, cutting deep into his thigh. Bone cracked. His scream cut short into a gurgle as he fell, twitching, until the saw ripped through him entirely. Half his body slumped in one direction, the other in another. Layla sobbed hysterically. We have to get out. We have to. But the barrels in the corner began to rattle. One by one they burst open, spilling out half-rotten corpses. Skeletal arms clawed forward, black blood dripping from torn fingers. Hollow eyes glowed faintly as the dead dragged themselves closer. Their jaws opened in grotesque unison, whispering, "Join us, join us." Adam swung a metal rod in desperation, smashing one corpse's skull, but it kept crawling, teeth snapping. Layla stumbled backward, screaming, as the dead encircled her. A skeletal hand clamped around her ankle, pulling her down. She kicked, she clawed, but the saw held forward. It plunged into her stomach. The sound was unbearable, flesh tearing, bones snapping. Her screams echoed inhumanly, then cut off as her blood painted the walls. The corpses tore at her remains, dragging them into the shadows, leaving only a shredded trail of crimson. Adam stood alone, chest heaving, eyes wide in terror. He turned to run but was surrounded. The corpses formed a ring, their whispers growing louder, merging into one thunderous chant. More, more, more. The saw circled him like a predator. He swung his rod wildly, shouting, crying, until a cold whisper brushed his ear, "Your turn." The blade rammed into his back. Agony shot through his spine. He fell to his knees, screaming as the saw carved upward, splitting him open. Blood poured in rivers, soaking the floor. His vision dimmed, his body shaking violently. The last thing he saw was the swarm of skeletal hands reaching for him, dragging him down into endless dark. The camera clattered to the ground, still recording. The screen flickered as the saw continued to whir, echoing in the pitch black. By morning, the villagers found the house silent. The basement was empty, no bodies, no signs of struggle. Only the walls, glistening wet with fresh blood, and words carved deep into the floor. "Drop of blood, the saw needs more."